West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. It's a live call-in show, and I'm live in Jamaica. Yes, I'm home. For those of you who haven't been watching the recent episodes, I've been in Jamaica for about a week now, visiting family, doing bits and pieces, made sure I went to Sabina to see West Indies take another L. I've watched the last 2 L's in St. Kitts as well. The L's can't done. It don't matter where in the world I go. It don't matter if I'm in Trinidad. It don't matter if I'm in Antigua, if I'm in UK, if I'm in Northern Ireland, if I'm in Republic of Ireland, if I'm in Wales, if I'm in England, if I'm in Jamaica. In the last year, I've traveled everywhere and just taken L after L after L. It's long, but we have to move. And first things first, before anybody says, why am I getting political? Free up Palestine each and every day. I don't care who wants to get upset with that. I don't care who business. We got to free up Palestine. And it ain't right to not mention it. I don't care if you lot don't think this is a political platform or not. Listen, my heart is bleeding for the Palestinian people. We got to free them up, and we got to free them up now. So let's get that out of the way as well. We have to wear the colors and represent, injustice. What's the phrase again? Injustice anywhere. I can't remember how the phrase goes. But where you see injustice, you got to stand up and you got to speak out. Don't let. Let me keep my mouth shut. Anyways, people, it's a live call-in show. Machel St. Patrick. You don't know. Listen, this is only going to go for an hour. It's 6 o'clock in Jamaica at the moment. This is a rare one for the Caribbean audience because normally when I do a live call-in show, one, it's on a random Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and I've got work the next day, and I'm in the UK, and you lot are trying to keep me awake forever, and I want to go to my bed. And normally it's done with the UK audience in mind. So I start it at like 10 o'clock at night, knowing that in the Caribbean it's only 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock at best. Today, I've started the show knowing that it's midnight in the UK. So this is a live call-in show for the benefit of the Caribbean audience who are cotching at home Sunday evening, probably just had their Sunday dinner, belly pop off. You bust open your belt, you're just sitting on the couch. Pause for that. You're just sitting on your couch and you just want to have a conversation about West Indies cricket. But let me tell you something. This show's only going an hour because I want to go and sit on the couch because I just ate some curry goat and rice and peas. My belly is popping off. So I want to go just cotch on the couch and chill off before I go to bed. You done know already. I'm drinking old Jamaican ginger beer. Actual ginger beer from Jamaica, not the UK manufactured nonsense, and not Morby. See, when then Trinis tried to put Morby on me, they tried to give me Caribbean flavors Morby in Trinidad. Worst thing I have ever tasted in my life. I will never drink Morby again. Never. So we're moving though. We're moving. Let me put the link in the chat because we just got to get into it. Share up the live, people. I'm in my dad's study. I said to my dad, listen, I'm going to have to borrow your study for an hour. I said, just go do whatever you're doing and make sure I can have your study for an hour. So that's why I've only got an hour, people, because he's got things to do. And I'm just up in his study, just talking. Man's been cussing me all week about West Indies cricket. Fam. Can I be honest? Yesterday's T20, I'm going to be really honest with you lot. I went to bed. I'm going to be really honest with you lot. I watched the West Indies innings, and what did we make again? 204. And then when it got to the halfway stage for Australia, I just went to bed, cuz. I think, when I went to bed, I didn't even go to sleep immediately. I just turned the TV off and went into my room. That's what the West Indies have taken me there. I didn't even go to sleep. I just went and sat in my room and said, there's got to be better things to do in my life. And then here's the joke. As I got in my room and laid down, I saw that Blades had taken, 2 wickets in an over. I ran back to the TV room to turn the TV on. They got my hopes up. They got my hopes up. They played me. They played me good and proper. And I sat down again. I said, boy, let me lock in again. Let me lock in because Blades has taken 2 in an over. I need to lock in. These men have been taking me there for a year, you know. I wonder if any West Indies fan has travelled more than me in a year. Rowan Chambers, who travels around the world, like going to different cricket grounds, he's definitely travelled more than me. But is there any West Indian fan who's travelled more than me in the last year? Trinidad, Antigua, all of England, Republic of Ireland, Northern Ireland, Jamaica. And all I've seen is L's. L's. Do you know how many L's I've seen in a year, live in living colour? Who's got more air miles on there? Who's got more travel miles? Who's clocked up more than me? It's got to be all of the players, and then it must be me next, who's travelled up the most travel miles watching this team. And this is why no one can ever cuss me, because whenever people say to me, but you say this and you don't know about that, I travelled more than anybody else in the last year. There's no one who could have travelled more than me. I've been everywhere. Fam, I'm tired, you know. I'm actually tired. But I'm going to watch I'm watching the T20 tomorrow. It don't matter. I'm still locking in for the final T20 because that's how the rallying goes. You just have to lock in. You have to lock in. Anyways, let's talk about some stuff today. That's the opening monologue done after 7 minutes. We've got another 50 minutes left of the show. We got lots of things to talk about. We got to talk about Darren Sammy. The uncles want him gone, so we got to talk about that. We got to talk about. I've seen loads and loads of different podcasts doing loads and loads of different content. Like I tuned into, because like I'll admit, like every now and again I'll watch other people's. Oh my God! Look at this, Big Damien. You know, people I went to school with Damien. Oh my gosh, Damien! Big up Damien, Warmer's family. You know. Oh my God, Damien, how did you even know I was doing this? Word travels fast now. Big up Damien Hilton each and every time. That's from my sixth form Warmers days. Anyone who's ever thought on this show that I made up, that if you've ever thought that I made up that I went to Warmers, Damien will confirm that I actually went to Warmers sixth form. Big up Damien. Respect you every time. Right, people. What's the saying? So we got to talk about Darren Sammy. We got to talk about the future of West Indies cricket. I saw that Cricket Forum did a show earlier today because somebody sent me a link in the Discord and said, Cricket Forum's interviewing Shane Dietz. Shane Dietz even. And I clicked on the show, and this is a God's honest truth. This isn't me trying to denigrate Cricket Forum show. But I went on it and I turned off after 30 seconds. And Cricket Forum, if you're watching this, or if any of his acolytes are watching this and you want to send it to him, let me explain to you why I turned off after 30 seconds. And it's not because his show is rubbish. I turned off because as I turned on, Basil Butcher was bantering off with Shane. And then Cricket Forum called Shane a politician and then said, I don't care what development you're doing in women's cricket and how you're trying to develop the women's cricket and so on and so forth. All I care about is results. That is all that matters. And when I heard him say that, I thought, there lies a man that doesn't have any idea where West Indies cricket is currently at. Because if you are judging West Indies cricket in all of its current iterations, if in 2025 you are judging West Indies cricket by if they win or lose, you have no understanding of where our cricket is at. You have absolutely no understanding of the ground zero that we are at. We've gone past winning or losing. If you are judging our progress purely on if we win or lose, you shouldn't even be talking on West Indies cricket because you don't understand how low and how deep this thing goes. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Am I upset that we're 4-0 down to Australia and we lost all the test matches? Yeah, but I also understand that this is where we're at. This is where we're at. And if there is one thing, just one thing if there was only one thing I could change about West Indies cricket, if I clicked my fingers and I could only change one thing in West Indies cricket, it would be waving a magic wand to make mostly the uncles, which basically means men over the age of 60, it would be to basically make most of the uncles accept that what they think West Indies cricket is no longer exists. It no longer exists. We are, but look, anyone who's been following Caribbean Cricket Podcast since I started this in 2019, I've been saying this for 6 years, and slowly everyone's cottoning onto it. Listen carefully, please. Everyone at the sides and out the back, listen carefully. We are an associate nation in all but name. We are. That's not an exaggeration. We are an associate nation in all but name. Look at our facilities, associate. Look at our underdevelopment, associate nation. Look at our results, associate nation. If we were called Nepal and you looked at how we were going, you'd say, oh, it makes sense because, yeah, we're Nepal, innit? It's only because we're called West Indies that some people, usually uncles over the age of 60, they don't want to accept that this is what we are. If West Indies is ever to come out of the doldrums in my lifetime, it is going to take all of us collectively accepting that we just have to lock in, whether we agree with the individuals involved in it. So whether you agree with a Kishore Shallow, whether you agree with a Miles Bascom, whether you agree with a Darren Sammy, whether you agree with a Ramesh Subhasinger, whether you agree with Andre Kohli in the development system, whether you agree with any individual, everyone has to lock in and accept that whatever path we're on to try and rebuild the systems is going to take 10 to 15 years minimum of commitment to a process. And in that 10 to 15 years minimum of a commitment to a process, we also have to accept that we will lose most of the time. But my belief is that the Caribbean sports culture is unwilling to accept defeat for a long-term goal. It wants instant results. And if it can't get instant results, we have to find someone to blame. And we've been stuck in this cycle for 30 years of instant results. Oh, we don't have them? Blame him. Instant results. Oh, we don't have them? Sack him. Instant results. Oh, we're not getting them? Sack the board. Instant results. Oh, we're not getting them? Drop the captain. We've been doing that for 30 years without fail. And some people still ain't clocking that there's bigger issues than just we're losing 7-0 to Australia right now. And if you're one of those people who's hiding behind sack Darren Sammy, I think you're a dunce. There, I have to say it. I think if you're hiding behind sack Darren Sammy, he's to blame. I think you're actually a dunce. I think you have to be a dunce. If your solution to what's going on right now is sack Darren Sammy, sack Kishore Shallow, sack Miles Bascom, I actually think you're a cricketing dunce. And actually, you need to come out of the cricket space because you're just getting in the way now. You're getting in the way. You might not agree. I don't necessarily think that Sammy was the right person to be Test captain, but I've locked in a Test head coach. But I've locked in now because Sammy, rightly or wrongly, Sammy has stepped in at a point where we now just need to accept it is what it is. It is what it is. And if we lose, we lose because it's bigger than win or lose right now. We've got to commit to a process. And it just so happens that Sammy has lucked out that he's the guy who's come in as we need to now start to just accept that there has to be a process. If we sack him now and start again, what are we actually achieving? To do what? To do what? The players ain't changing. So what we hoping for here? let me use an example, right? If there's any Jamaicans on the live right now, use the Reggae Boys as an example. There's, and again, it's this is very much an online chat. I don't know to what extent it extends beyond the online sphere, but there's enough of an online media cacophony of people saying Steve McLaren's got to go, right? And my thing is this, right? So, and let me explain for those who don't know about Reggae Boys. One of the reasons why some Jamaicans believe Steve McLaren's got to go is because they're seeing some of the results. So what was in the Gold Cup, for example, we didn't get out of the group, and they're saying, yeah, he's got to go now. I don't know how many years Steve McLaren is into the job. I think he's 1 year into the job. Steve McLaren's success or failure will be judged on whether he makes it to the World Cup or not. But because we had a bad Gold Cup, because the results aren't always win-win-win, Jamaicans want him gone already. And I'm just like, can't we commit to anything? And to me, that is a microcosm of a wider Caribbean culture where if we don't get instant rewards, if there's no instant success, the answer is always, we just got to sack someone. We got to get rid of someone. And as long as we do that, that fixes it. Flipping, let me put the link in the chat. 1 second. 1 second, people. Right, so the link is in the chat. So what's the time? 20 past. Right, we're going to do 40 minutes. We'll do 40 minutes of calling. Where's my phone? 40 minutes of calling. You get no more than 5 minutes, people, because some of you like to talk too much. You love to talk too much, and I don't care if I'm in the Caribbean. I don't care if you lot think that we need to just stay up all night. Nah, I'm not. You're not taking me there. You're not taking me there. Sorry, let me just look at some comments. I just wait for people to join the live in the background. So I'm just looking for something, people. Bear with me whilst I just look for this. Sorry, Damien, I don't know if you're still there. So Damien just said, would you join my radio show in Jamaica? Yeah, Damien, send me an email. One sec. Yeah, Damien, send me an email. If you go to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast X handle, you'll see the email address there. Just send me an email and we'll make it happen. I'm in Jamaica until Friday. I'm in until Friday. I'm here till Friday. So yeah, link me and yeah, we'll come on for sure. Right, Fireball is up first. Fireball is up first. TC says that Mash is on his dictatorship vibes since last night. That reminds me, people, if you want to join the Caribbean Cricket Podcast Discord community, become a patron, get the Discord link. That's one of the perks of becoming a Caribbean Cricket Podcast patron. So yeah, and join the Discord community. TC, I hope you're sorting out my green card for when I come to Fort Lauderdale. Big up anyone who's come to Fort Lauderdale on the weekend. Next weekend, obviously West Indies versus Pakistan. If you're going to be there, link me, send me an email, let me know. We'll link up at the stadium. TC's sorting out my green card so I can stay in the States a bit longer before Trump throws me out. Yes. Let's see. Big up Jimmy for the super chat. He says free Palestine. Yep, each and every time we got to free up Palestine for sure. That shouldn't be a controversial statement to make. The people are suffering. They need to be free. Right. So let's get into Fireball. He can go first. Let me set the timer. Let me go. Wait 1 second, Fireball. I'm just trying to start the timer. Right, here we go. Right. Before I go to Fireball, comment from T101. What structural changes we need to begin the process to improve? How do we know this is currently happening? Well, I'll answer the second question first. It's not happening. The changes aren't happening. The question you have to ask yourself about structural changes is, and again, let's use Jamaica because I'm currently in Jamaica. The Jamaica Cricket Association, what plan there's two questions that need to be answered, and we'll use Jamaica as a case point. And I do want to speak to some people in the JCA before I leave on Friday. What plan does the JCA have to boost up cricket in Jamaica? Right? That's the first question. The second question is, if they've created a plan, have they shared it with the government? Have they shared it with the government? And then the third question is, who's supposed to fund the development of the cricket in each respective nation? Is it, so for example, again, using the JCA, is it the JCA in association with the private sector and the government, or is it just the government, or are they supposed to go to the private sector? And then I guess going back to question one, have they even done any of that? And if they haven't done any of that, then that means they have no plan for the cricket. And this is why when people jump straight away to saying blame Kishore Shallow, blame Miles Bascombe, this is why I always think, but you're a dunce. Because what does kicking Kishore Shallow out of power have to do with improving the cricket in your respective nation? You've climbed about 10 rungs up the ladder to blame the head person before you've even considered what's going on in your own country. When Reggae Boys try to qualify for the World Cup, they're going to put together a plan to reach out to corporate Jamaica to get as much funding as they can on that World Cup journey, as well as the government. They're going to put some. You think the JFF is just going to try find money by themselves? They'll come up with some, and I could cuss the JFF for many things, but they'll come up with a plan of how corporate and government will come together on the road to the World Cup. Doesn't mean they'll get to the World Cup, but they're going to surely come up with a plan. If the JFF then if Reggae Boys then get to the World Cup, they will then present a next plan as they try to reach out to corporate Jamaica and the government about the World Cup campaign and everything before the World Cup and during the World Cup. What are our cricket associations doing? What are they doing? Now, Benton says the JFF is a patty shop. Yes, exactly. But I bet you they'll come. Okay, let me put it this way, Benton. Who do you trust more to come up with a plan to improve a sport? The JFF for football or the JCA for cricket? Who do you trust more to at least come up with some kind of plan to get funding and to do something? Who do you trust more? That's all I'm asking. Okay. Fireball's still waiting, you know. Joel Garner says the team has psychology issues. The talent is there. Pause. Let me address that one. Is the talent there, though? Because I always hear this, right? I think that's a lazy comment. I've been thinking this for the longest while. I've been thinking about dropping this bar for the longest while. Is the talent actually there? What do people mean when they say the talent is there? Let's actually discuss this. And anyone who's coming on to call in a second, I actually want to flip that statement. I don't think the talent is there. I think you lot think the talent is there. If a team keeps losing, is the talent actually there? What is this? Oh, the talent's not the issue. Yes, it is. What? So if men can't average over 25 in Test cricket, how can you tell me the talent is there? Talent. I've always had issues with this statement of we're not struggling for talent. What does talent mean? What do you mean by that? What does that mean? Do you know what I would say is this? Did any of you just watch? Did anybody watch earlier on the women's Euro finals between England and Spain? So I watched the whole game all the way from the start through to extra time and penalties, right? Spain were the much better team in that final. They were popping the ball, passing and moving with purpose, probably should have won the game in normal time, still created the better chances in extra time. But let me tell you something about the English women. The English women showed heart, gut, determination, Yeah, rolled their luck a tiny piece, but stuck to the game plan. When they were facing the English women didn't have a shot on goal after the 65th minute of the match. Remember, this went all the way to extra time and penalties, right? They didn't have a shot on goal after the 65th minute of the game, and they won on penalties, right? And when I was watching it, all I was thinking in my head is, when West Indies come under pressure, we wilt. That to me is a bigger issue than the talent is there, because I question the talent part. But even if we park the talent to one side, this addresses your first point. When we come under pressure, we wilt. I was watching these English women thinking, I beg West Indies just show a bit of this heart, guts, and just desire to not be beaten. Sometimes you think England were more talented than Spain. No, they weren't. But they had guts, heart, determination, desire, sometimes that outwits talent, you know. If we forget talent, do we even have the guts, heart, determination, desire, grit? All of those you either have that or you don't have it. That stuff is free, you know. That stuff's free. Sometimes I question that more than I question the talent stuff. When we won in 2016, Fireball thought it was coming on, but you lot have taken me there. When we won in 2016, the T20 World Cup in 2016, a lot of that was to do with the players basically going into siege mentality. Remember, they turned up and the gears weren't there, the kit weren't there on time. Cameron was fighting down the Mandem. The 2016 World Cup victory was almost the squad siege mentality, turning it in on themselves and saying they don't. They think we're dancing minstrels. Our own president is cussing us out. He's a waste man. We're gonna show the world that we got something about us. When last did we? And actually, we did that when we won in Australia in 2024. When Craig Brathwaite showed off his guns, right? That was about, you lot don't rate us. We're going to show people that we don't see that stuff often enough. Done the talent conversation. We don't see that intangible stuff often enough. That's my thing. And I'm not here to say where you can get that from. Okay, so Charlie says, but that 2016 was also talented. Yes, but it was talent plus something. I think talent on its own is not enough. I don't think it's enough. It can be if you also talent plus more money than everyone else can be enough. But I don't think just talent in and of itself is enough. Oh my gosh. My sister's telling me to bring back some mangoes from Jamaica. Okay, I'll see what I can do. Right, let's bring on Fireball. 5 minutes. Let me start. 5 minutes for Fireball right now. Let me start it. Okay, Fireball's up first.
What's up,
Yes, Fireball, how you doing?
I'm all right. First I'll be defending a drink I don't even like. You can't be cussing Morby and you're drinking store-bought Morby.
Listen.
Can't be cussing Morby?
I don't know if Jamaica does Morby, you know. I've never seen Morby in Jamaica before. So before I leave, I will try and see if I can find some. Maybe a Rasta man might have a Morby to sell or something like that. I haven't seen Morby since I've been here. So I will try to see if Jamaica's got one anywhere, and then I'll do a review and come back.
Yeah. Like, I don't like Morby, but I drink Morby from home. So I actually drink proper Morby. I don't drink a store-bought nonsense. Anyways, more on the Palestine. I'll get the cricket soon. Like, you take advantage of not being in the hellhole where if you say, there's a genocide going on, they want to arrest you. Take advantage of being out the hellhole.
Listen, if I say that word, I can't get into the USA, So let me not go that far.
All right. The third one, for the T20s, I predicted a 4-1 defeat. I don't know if I said it on the live, but I said it on Discord. A 4-1 defeat, and these men can't even do a 4-1 defeat. I don't think we win the Monday the T20. Hopefully we do. I'll happily take that 4-1. I'll celebrate the 4-1, but looking to be our first 5 T20 series of whitewash. Yeah.
And so, okay, let's just assume it's not going to be 4-1. Let's assume it's going to be 5-0. Let's just jump straight to the question because I've already seen I've already seen people in the chat saying so. If it's 5-0, what are you saying about Darren Sammy?
Well, I can't really say anything. Who else will replace him? Like, even if I say sack Darren Sammy, no, who will replace him and do a better job? I don't have an answer. So I say, give him another year or two.
Where do you stand on the line of accountability? So, like, you support Real Madrid. At what point did you turn on Ancelotti, and why?
When he pushed for the full-on Mendy renewal. I said,
when he pushed for what?
The full-on Mendy renewal. He actually bought to give full-on Mendy 3 more years. And I said, nah, no.
Was there a point in? So I don't know why I'm going for I don't know why I'm trying to do an Ancelotti analogy, but what would it take for you to, in the same way how you turned on Ancelotti as a Real Madrid fan, what would it take for you to turn on Darren Sammy and say, actually, maybe he does need to go?
If when the World Cup comes and we start losing to teams like Papua New Guinea and Italy, like back to back, then I'll say, this experiment isn't working. Like, the bar is much lower for West Indies if we don't win anything. So my bar for West Indies is like if we get embarrassed in the group stage. Not by Australia or England. That's a given. If Australia beating us up in the Caribbean, the A team with Cummins, Stark, and Hazelwood will beat us up in the World Cup. That's a given. But if we start losing to Italy and Nepal badly, to a point I'm like, this is embarrassing. I will say, yeah, probably time to move on. But even then, I don't know who else could turn our fortunes around.
Yeah, so this is my point. I think we've reached a point now in West Indies cricket where I do not believe there is any coach out there that can do anything. They might improve us by a 1%, but I don't think there is any coach out there that can improve the West Indies team to a level that uncles would be happy with.
I agree. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna say something. Panel stuff DM to me. If she minds.
Yeah, go on.
I agree with it. If we lose 5-0, I wouldn't say sack Darren Sammy, but an examination of his methodology and you mentioned this as well, the moral of the team.
Yeah.
Like, that will be coming to question. Like, things will have to make some changes. Not major changes, but things will have to be tweaked. Hopefully, I didn't butcher her point. She'll let know in the chat if I butcher her point. Just say, Fireball speaking of nonsense.
Okay. Any more points that you want to raise?
On the Syndicate Stadium, and this is not me hating on the people of Syndicate. I think that stadium is not fit for international cricket purpose.
Yeah, do you know what? So interestingly, Fireball, I've had a few people message me saying, why did we agree to play this series in St. Kitts? Everyone knows that St. Kitts is a 250 plus ground where bowlers will get licked down. And I don't know what you can learn from playing cricket in St. Kitts, I guess is what. No, and that's no cuss out to Kittians. And obviously it's West Indies cricket. Like the matches must be spread around the Caribbean. But when you have a ground that is like that, what are you actually learning?
You're not learning anything. Adam Zampa's going for licks. When I saw Adam Zampa going for licks, I say our best bowler, Keelan Singh, is going to also go for licks and won't be able to defend a total. Why did we negate our best bowler Like that, and then like it makes no sense. It's like even for CPL, it's not fit for purpose. But CPL is hit and giggle curry code cricket. If they want to play it CPL, they can play it in CPL, but it's not international standards. The boundaries are too small, way too small. 45 meters boundaries. I could have 6 in that boundary.
I reckon I could as well. I reckon I could hit 1-6 in Warner Park. Not, I'd be out very soon after that, but I reckon if you bowled me a lollipop ball, I could also hit a 6 in Warner Park. And I'm useless.
I'm feeling horrible because I don't want to take away cricket from the Sincatians, but Warner Park is not international standard stadium.
Boy, the petitions are going to come for you still, but you know. Anyways, Fireball, let me go to the next caller.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, cool. Take care. Yes, people. There was a comment I needed to bring up. I think I started it. Yeah, so Kirk Arnold says Justin Langer should be the next coach. So the reason I started that comment, Kirk, is because I don't think there is any top level coach in the world that would come and coach the West Indies. Top level. And even if they did come and coach the West Indies, they would then do you know what, actually, Kirk? I'd love someone like a Justin Langer or a Ricky Ponting to come and coach the West Indies. Let me tell you why. Obviously, they never would. But let me tell you why. Because it would take somebody of their stature to come here, look at the facilities, look how we ain't got nothing, speak out, and then all of a sudden you'd hear people go, it must be true because Ricky Ponting said it, Justin Langer said it, so it must be true. That's the only reason why I'd want a big status person to come and coach West Indies, because it might get through to some of the dunce heads in the Caribbean to understand what we're actually working with. So your answer actually isn't as bad as I initially thought, but the problem is nobody worth their salt would come to the Caribbean and coach West Indies. No, not now. Maybe in the early 2000s when we just turned rubbish, maybe then, but not now. No, we're too far gone. They might as well go coach Ireland instead. There's more upside to coaching Ireland. Big up Sachin for the super chat. He says, big up the Lauderdale crew, soon link. Yeah, Sachin's going to be in Fort Lauderdale. Big up the Fort Lauderdale crew coming through. We'll link up, must come. Yeah, Reva says Justin Langer or Ponting would be amazing, but they would actually do it properly and it would take years. That's my point. They would turn up and say, for this thing to turn around, I need 5 years in this job. And I guarantee you, if Ricky Ponting said that, it'd be the first time that people would listen and go, it must be true. It must be true. We actually don't really have anything to help us. So, yeah. Right, okay, let's move on. Tyrese is up next on the live. Let me set my timer. Like up the live, people. Share, subscribe, all of that. We're on all the social media handles. Discord community, become a patron, join up the Discord. You can buy me a coffee if you don't want to do super chat or super thanks, all of that stuff. Right, let's bring it on Tyrese. Yes, Tyrese, how you doing?
Hey, Mash.
Yes.
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Where are you ringing from?
Barbados.
Oh, Barbados. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. Right. In terms of the Darren Sammy whole situation, I've been one that's been defending Sammy in terms of I already know like there's already a deep rooted issue within West Indies cricket. Like we obviously lack like resources to help invest in our cricket and improve it and to carry it to that level. But like I do believe, but after like this series, I think that two things could be correct at the same time.
Yeah.
I would say like I think that Sammy isn't the biggest problem, but I definitely think he's a problem though. I think like right now I think he's a problem. Like I think that at the end of the day, like sports is a results business, and I do think that like these players, I do think that the way we're playing it will cost him his job if it doesn't improve soon. But
Mm,
do I think that we need, because let me use a football analogy, right?
mm.
When Ruben Amorim came in at Man United, one of the first things Ruben Amorim told United
Yes.
was,
Yeah.
"We have to suffer. We have to suffer."
Yes.
And there came 15th. I don't necessarily believe Darren Sammy. I don't necessarily think I'm seeing enough from Darren Sammy where like I will say, okay, we have to suffer in order for us to get better. Because I know the way for us to get better is going to take a long time. It needs infrastructure planning. It needs like proper planning. But I want to ask you this question though, Mash, because that's my
Mm.
thoughts on Sammy. I definitely think he's a problem. I think tactically, the way how he's trying to play the T20 cricket in 2025, I think that a lot of teams have caught up to the way the West Indies used to play 2020 cricket like 10 years ago when we had like Gale and Marlon Samuels and them guys. I think he's trying to do something similar where like he has like Roston Chase to play the Marlon Samuels role, like Evan Lewis to be like the Gale that is gonna start quick, like the Brandon King as like the, I don't know I don't know who I could compare him to, but that's just an example. But what my question is, I'm gonna pose to you now, Mash. What was I gonna ask? What do you think, like, in terms of like rebuilding West Indies cricket, what do you think is a simple step that could be a simple step that could be a big step that we can make right now that is feasible and realistic to at least see some change?
So I'm going to there's actually like I've got maybe 3 or 4 things that I would suggest, but I'm gonna pick the one that I think is the most controversial that I plan to do a show on in the next few days, right?
Mm-hmm.
My genuine opinion is this, and I'm still fleshing it out, but this is my genuine opinion. We are going to be terrible. Let's just say best case scenario. Let's just say best case scenario. West Indies cricket and the fan base and the media accepts that all of the things being done in the background, administratively, governance-wise, the West Indies Academy. Let's just say everyone's willing to be patient and let those things continue, right? Let's just say argument's sake. Let's also say that in the background, some of the nations in the Caribbean actually start to get funding and realize they need to invest in schools cricket or grassroots or an academy or whatever. Let's just say those things happen, right?
Yeah.
Even if all of those things happened, we still wouldn't be good again for anywhere between 10 to 15 years, right? So here is my solution for now, because the problem in the Caribbean is everybody is all about bandwagonism and short-termism. So we need to. The answer to your question is, what can we do right now in the short term? And the key question here is short term that would alleviate the cussing in the region. And the answer for me is this.
Yes.
It goes back to my point about talent. We need to widen our talent pool. It's as simple as that. And I go back to my football analogy. Every single football nation in the Caribbean reaches out to its diaspora. Barbados does, Jamaica does, St. Kitts does, St. Lucia does, Grenada does. Everybody, Guyana does it. Everybody does it in football. But when it comes to the cricket, probably due to our colonial hangover around cricket, we draw the line at cricket over it. If I am in charge of Cricket West Indies, I am doing what the JFF does, and I'm scouting everywhere in the world of where there is a cricketer who has West Indian heritage, and I am bringing them into the fold, because it goes back to my point of everyone says we already have the talent. I think that's nonsense. I don't think we already have the talent, because if we already had the talent, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing. So my question is, you have to widen the talent pool, and that's the only thing you can do in the short term that might immediately change things.
I do agree that you need to have a wider selection of people to choose from. I do think that we still have talent there. I mean, like, but the thing is, we're not able to nurture our talent because obviously the correct infrastructure isn't in place. But I do agree with
But
like
Tyree,
bringing
it's not
in,
even it's
yeah,
not
yeah,
even that we can't nurture. We can't even keep them because look at
it's true,
Barbados.
yeah,
We've lost what? We
yep,
lost Jofra and we've lost Jacob Bethel,
yep,
right?
Jacob,
There's two
yep,
talented
yep.
players who have gone.
I, I,
They've taken their talent to South Beach and they've decided that they're going to develop
but
over there. So we should be doing the same.
you know, I have to do some research into by the way, Mash, in terms of like facilities, I don't know if you knew this, but right now there's actually a facility being built here in Barbados. Joe Archer is actually building a facility right here. I think he's got that's probably one of his I think that I could see that as like being like his post-retirement plan where like he's gonna have like an academy,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be really well built. I'll probably speak with you a little bit. I'll probably send you some details about it off stream because it's a lot, and I know you have other people to bring on. But in
Mm.
terms of like bringing in the talent pool, I would say that I do agree with that. I think that like scouting out like people from different parts of the world and bringing them into the cricket is feasible. I do think that like I have to see because I don't know if a lot of people knew this. I think we did that with like Gordon Greenidge. You know, like Gordon
Yes,
Greenidge
exactly.
he's
Yes.
from Barbados. He's from but
Yeah.
he lived majority of his life in England. And we brought him back because he was at Hampshire doing great things, and we brought him
Yes.
back, and
England wanted Greenwich
he's
to
a
play for
legend.
them. We brought him back.
Yes. Yeah, Gordon Greenidge is probably more. He's Bajan. He was born here. He's lived here for a while, but he lived probably majority of his life in England. So, we can do that. I do think that it will take some time for like, for example, let's say someone that's playing in county cricket to come and adjust to these conditions because it's very
Yes,
different than in
probably.
England.
Probably. So, yeah, let me
But
clarify, Tyrese. I'm not saying
yeah,
those players would come to our cricket and mash up the domestic region immediately
no,
because our conditions to play in are quite unique. But I
yeah,
don't see
definitely.
why we wouldn't be offering players like because everyone always says to me, "Oh, but this, but that." The first step is you just say to them, "Would you like to come
Bring
and
one.
play
Yeah.
in our domestic competition next season?"
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
first step. That's the first step.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, I do think that that's a great point. I think that if I had to ask who are some players that we could bring right now, like in terms of
Right. Okay. So I'll give you a
from
player
the
who most people in the Caribbean don't know anything about. So right
yep.
now, playing for Essex, there is a Jamaican seamer playing for Essex by the name of
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Richards. Right. He's just been on loan to
I
Kent.
think was he in the under 19s with like
Yes, he's
Bethel
in
and
England.
I think I know. Yep.
He's
Yep.
represented England. I think he's done no. He's represented. What's it called? Is it the Lions or something? But the point is this: I've spoken to Jamal
Yes.
Richards' people. He wants to represent
Okay.
West Indies. No one has reached out to him. He's not on.
I mean,
He's not necessarily on this England thing. Do you see what I mean?
yeah,
But no one ain't had no
I see
conversation with
it.
him.
I think
So
that look, I think honestly, Marsh, like obviously we have big issues with West Indies cricket, but like I just need this to be addressed as well. Like when are we gonna actually realize that like what we're dealing with here is an elite sport that needs like the right people in charge that like need to treat this like an elite sport. And
yes,
like I don't know how we have produced so many great players and we've done so much great things on a world stage, and that is not enough for the higher powers in the region to say, hey, like I think that like I personally think that like this might be I don't already know what's going on behind the scenes, but I don't even think that 27 all out is an eye opener. You know, I still think that
no.
like they're being like I don't even know if they've reacted the right way. You know, I think that might they'll say, oh, they just got bowled up for 27. Like, cool. Like I think that like that required that had to be like for me that should have been an eye opener and be like, yo, we have to go into crisis mode. And to me, it still doesn't feel that way. They're still not really like saying to the public what's going on. It's still just people just cussing and bickering and like blaming
Exactly.
Sammy and blaming
Think about-
everyone.
Since the 27 all out, what have you heard other than old men cussing about everything and looking for someone to blame? And that sums everything up. That sums
There-
everything up.
it's just I think that's our biggest issue, right? I don't know what the people in charge are doing, but like obviously the boards and the territorial boards are to blame for the state of the cricket. Like I see from my own experience, I could drive around the island of Barbados and see some grounds that like Wanderers Cricket Club, like Pickwick Cricket Club that Shea Hook came out of, and look at them often, and the same nets that Shea was training in 15 years ago are the same nets that youngsters that are 10 and 11 are training in right now. So it's
sorry, I missed out.
there's
Before you go, I have
there's
one
no
more.
progress. But
I've one more answer that I
Yep.
should have said to you when you said what else can be done.
yes,
And this, I think I said this on a previous show, and it'll sound like I'm making a joke, but I'm not actually joking. We need another Alan Stanford. That's
my point.
we need
That's what I've
another
been saying. I
person
think
who's a multi-billionaire
Mash-
or millionaire who comes in with the money and
Definitely.
revamps up everything.
like a footballing model. I've been saying that I think that like the Caribbean, I think that we could strive probably better than other nations because we are basically rely on foreign investment as countries, and a lot of like offshore accounts that are in the Caribbean are in Antigua. They're in St. Kitts, they're in Dominica, they're all over. Like why do billionaires would have that money just sitting there when they can invest in something that could in the Caribbean and I have disposable income that's going to go back into those same accounts that they have here. So I don't know how they could see 20 years ago when Alan Stanford was here. That was the way out, and just I don't know, just gave up on it and not try and like create like a pitch deck to present to investors and invest into the cricket. I don't know why. Like I think that that's something that needs to be done drastically because that's the only way to survive. Like we could talk about academies in every island, but you still need money to build them. You still need coaches to run them. You still need infrastructure. So
exactly.
But that's
Listen,
what I think we have to do. We have to seek out investment. Yep.
I best go to the next caller, you know.
Yes, mate.
All right, then. Listen, thank you for ringing in, though.
Yeah, no problem. Yep.
Much appreciated. Thank you. Yeah, always good when Tyrese rings in. I always think there's some healthy conversation points made there. Just to expand on that Alan Stanford point, though, people, because at the end of the day, there's loads of sports washing going on in all of these T20 leagues. So it's not out of the realms of possibility for somebody who, obviously Alan Stanford was a crook, but I'm not even going to pontificate about Stanford being a crook and defrauding people because most of the people involved in these T20 leagues are crooks, and you lot are jumping up and down and winding up your waist when T20 leagues are going on. So there's no point in you saying to me Stanford was a crook. All the T20 guys are crooks. The whole point of T20 franchise cricket is the people are sports washing, they're money laundering, and you lot don't mind running up and winding up your waist to CPL. So there's no point in telling me that Stanford was a crook. We need one of them crooks to invest in West Indies cricket. That's the reality of the situation. Someone needs to come launder their money through West Indies cricket. And it sounds glib and people be like, oh, Mash, you shouldn't be saying things like that. But that's the reality of the situation. Money laundering is running the game right now. Come on, open up your eyes. This T20 thing is all money laundering and sports washing and bare criminality. So we need some of that criminal money to come into West Indies cricket. You think people are just going to bring money into West Indies cricket through the love of their heart and benevolence? No, they want to wash that money. Come on, man. What do you lot think this is? This is why you'll never see me go any further with this channel, because I'll actually say what's really going on. Anyways, let's move. Who's up next? Rough Cut is up now. So there was a couple of comments. Sorry, before I go to you, Rough Cut. So someone has upset Renida. I presume Renida is Katishan. She says, if you must know, West Indies has a healthy track record on the Warner Park ground. Australia's superior, so I don't know why you're acting so. If West Indies had won, you would be singing a different song. Yeah, Renelda, that weren't me. That was Fireball. I don't know why he's cussing out saying Renida. Is it Renida or Renelda? Renida, I think it is. So that was Fireball, Renida. You have to cuss him still. You don't know what he's talking about. And then Jacob says, here's things that we should improve: the quality of pitches and grounds, grassroots coaching, and federalized administrative system. Agree with all of that, but the problem is all of that stuff is 10, 15 years. So whilst I agree with all of that, the question people have to separate the answers to improving West Indies cricket isn't, for me, about creating a list of all the things that need to be improved, because all the things that need to be improved are pretty obvious, and Jacob has told you what those things are. But what we need to talk about is what can we do now versus what should we show the patience to for the long term. And similar to that, going further from Jacob's point, Sam says, Mash, building facilities is only one aspect of developing talent. We need good coaches. And again, I agree, but even that is long term. All of these things that would actually fix our cricket are long term stuff. So my thing is, what are we doing in the short term that might actually change our fortunes? And if people don't think there is anything that we can do in the short term, then you have to change your mindset and accept that we have to take more licks then. We just have to take licks, and when we take the licks, you shouldn't then complain and say, sack this man, sack that man, sack that next one. Because if you don't believe there's anything that can be done in the short term, then licks is the answer in the short term. We can't have our cake and eat it here. OTCG says, has JPS got you? No. What time is 7 o'clock now in Jamaica? Light. It's dark outside now. From 6:30, it's dark in Jamaica. So that's why the room would have changed now. It's actually dark outside, but it's only 7 o'clock. Oh my God. So I'm just looking at some of the comments. Right. Okay. Right. Right, Rough Cut's up next. Yes, Rough Cut, what are you saying?
Hi, hello, what's up?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, the problem with West Indies cricket, it's not, I don't see any short-term solution for us, really. That's why I was disappointed in Roston Chase being named captain, because I would have preferred we go to someone maybe like a Joshua De Silva and say, listen, we're not going to see results in the next 5 years. Sorry, we're not going to see results we're not going to see results soon. So okay, let's say we go with Joshua De Silva and we say, okay, for 5 years we're going to lose more than we can win. I could have seen that, but going with somebody who's like Roston Chase was 34 in 5 years, he'll be no way around West Indies cricket.
So do you know what? I don't disagree with you, because obviously when Chase was named as captain, I had issues with it. But then here's the thing: do you genuinely believe that if Josh, because Josh is who I would have given it to, but do you genuinely believe that if Josh had been named captain, that, let's just say Josh had been named captain, and the same stuff still happens, 27 all out, etc., what type of cuss out do you think he would have got as captain of the West Indies team?
Of course, he was getting cussed out already, even before that. But at least with someone with age on this side and the team getting bowled up for 27, then we could see, okay, like in 5 years, hoping to be better. And somebody like Alec, who's been out of the team, these guys could only get better. That's the way I see it. I'm not saying that we're going to beat Australia and we're going to beat India, but I'm not even saying we're not going to get bowled up for 27, but at least there's a process and it shows direction. But now with Chase there, it might be a short term. I cannot see Chase continuing after the beating we're going to get in India and New Zealand. So then we're going to be looking for another captain, and then we're going to go through the same process.
I hear you. So then the next question, and then like I say, I don't disagree with you, but here's the next question. If Josh should be named captain, and let's say Alex stays in the team and Sammy comes out and goes, listen, boy, we're going to be taking, like, it's a hard road from here and we're going to see more L's than wins, but we just have to trust the process. Do you think a Caribbean audience is willing to listen to any of that?
No, not really. But we who've been looking at West Indies cricket for over 20 years know that there's not a short-term fix. So we would have accepted that because we've just been going. I saw that with Holder, right? When Holder was made captain, they had that intention that he's going to be there for the better part of 10 years. It didn't work out to be so. So I think they should have gone back that way again by saying Sammy is not the main problem in West Indies cricket. We have a lot of problems. You look at the pitches in first-class cricket, they're turning from the first hour. How can a batter, a batter who cannot bat an hour in regional cricket, then you want him to go in international cricket against the likes of Stark and Cummins and score 100? That just sounds right. So there's a lot of problems.
So, in light of the results so far, so the Test series defeat, the 27 all out, Australia handing us a cut-ass in the T20s, where do we go from here, in your opinion?
Yeah, it's really difficult, But Chase, we cannot just say we're going to remove the captain. I'm not saying to remove Sammy. The coach, don't matter whoever. We can get Point in, we can get Langer in. We're still going to get beaten, but it's a tough one because I would have preferred someone younger guys in the batting. Listen, John Campbell has been tried, tested, and failed. Why is he back in the side? Why didn't we go with someone younger? Of course, no one hasn't really been lighting up regional cricket to say, let's go with that guy, but let's make a wild pick. So we're going to back this guy for the next 15 test match and see where we go from here. Because the thing with John Campbell, we know what we're going to get. We're going to get 20s, we're going to get 30s, but it's going to all fall back to the same thing. That was disappointing from Sammy. On that,
I hear you. Okay, so let me fast forward. What is an acceptable result? So we got 3 T20s against Pakistan. I don't know how many ODIs we've got. I want to say it's 5, but I'm not sure, right?
I think it's 3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's deal with those first. 3 T20s versus Pakistan, 3 ODIs versus Pakistan. What is acceptable for you?
We should beat Pakistan in our own conditions, but it's not a given with that side, isn't it? But really and truly, I'll say 2-1 in both series will be acceptable. But
to West Indies.
Yeah, 2-1 to West Indies, is acceptable. But then again, we can lose all 6 games, and I'll still say, don't sack Darren Sammy. Let's build towards something because we've removed Rovman Powell, which I think was a wrong decision, of course. But we have to back Shea Hope, we have to back Darren Sammy, and at least with our white ball cricket, it's not a desperate situation like it is in Test cricket. We actually can beat teams on our day.
Just to clarify, you're saying if we get whitewashed by Pakistan in both T20s and the ODIs, you'll say, well, boy, it's just part of the process.
Of course, we have to look at the bigger picture.
I'm saying, is that what you would say?
Yes, we have to look at the bigger picture because let's say Darren Sammy goes out. Sean Paul comes in because he might be the favorite. Then what's going to happen? We're going to go to New Zealand. We're going to lose again. And we're going to fire the coach and then go into the World Cup, which is about 8 months away. So we need to trust Darren Sammy and Shea Hope at least up to that World Cup. But it's going to be tough. Our bowling looks very, very, very weak at the moment. And even the selection is questionable. You're playing in St. Kitts, which is one of the smallest ground in world cricket, if it's not. And you're playing 3 spinners with Chase, Moti, and Akil. That just does not make sense against the power of Australia.
Well, and particularly when, in the case of Moti and Chase, they're not wicket-taking bowlers as it is right now. So
exactly.
I hear that. I do hear that.
Moti's out of form.
Moti's completely out of form. I noticed how before the series started, I saw everyone talking about how Moti had developed some new deliveries in Global Super League. And I didn't say anything about it at the time, but all I was thinking was Global Super League isn't international cricket. So,
and even those pitches in Guyana is different condition. You're not going to get that too much around the ball.
So,
And another thing with us again, right? Back when we had guys like Gale and Samuels in the side, they offered us bowling option. Right now, it's only Chase as well, I don't know if we can call Chase a batter really, even though he's the second or third all round in the world, because we don't have our batters don't bowl. They don't give us an option to come in and give us 2 overs or 3 overs. So that is significantly impacting the team. But I will prefer play a genuine six bowler, or a genuine batter than playing someone who is bits and pieces. It's not working.
I hear that. No, I hear that, and it's going to be very, very interesting when Evan Lewis comes back, if he comes back, for any of these white ball games, whether now or Pakistan. It's going to be very interesting to see who drops out.
It's either going to be Hetmeyer or Rutherford. It's going to be one of them. Rutherford hasn't been the same player he was, and about 12, 18 months ago, since the World Cup, he has really looked out of it. He comes in and he plays a shutter ball from ball one.
Well, same with Hetmeyer though.
Yeah, well, that's the way. The thing with Hetmeyer, right? We know what we're going to get from Hetmeyer, but we haven't seen it enough. He's someone that can just take a game apart. And with Puran out the pitch, I guess that Sammy wanted Hetmeyer to be his replacement. But if he's not producing, then we have to look ahead. There's Alec Anthony, so I think, who is one of the better players in the Caribbean.
Well, someone's going to have to get a look in. But my thing is this: whoever we turn to outside of the current set of players, we surely can't be expecting them to come and be a savior for us. So
exactly not.
So unfortunately, I think we're a tad screwed no matter what we do.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let me give someone else a chance, and we need to keep West Indies cricket in our prayers. That's the only way I see it.
Yeah, for real. All right. Thank you for ringing in, yeah?
All right, yeah, nice one, bye.
No problem. Right. I think Josh. Oh, look at the blood fire. Josh is next. Look at it. 1 second, Josh. This is why I didn't want to come and sit in here, 1 second, people. These Jamaican ants. I don't. Fam, I don't want to sit in this room, These Jamaican wood ants, man. They're just crawling up on me, man. I need to go hold a fresh after this one, man. God. And these men just crawling up on me. Right. Flipping. Let me. You lot need to be quick because I need to get out of this room, man. These ants just crawling up on the desk. They might all be crawling up on the laptop. Nah, these ants have got me stressed out here. And I can't come back in this room again. I have to find somewhere else to record. Where's the spray? Right, let me go to Josh. Right, next caller, Josh. Yes, Josh, what are you saying?
Our Father, I ask you to guide us and protect us. I ask you to put your hands on the soul of West Indies. I ask you to figure out and help us to get out of the depth of despair, to get out of the days of darkness. Help us find light. Help us find spirit. Our Father, I ask you, help us find a way, because without a way, we are stuck forever. Amen. Mash.
And hold on. I ain't finished. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
The Holy Spirit. Amen.
Yeah. We have to pray still. That's where we've reached. We have to hold down a piece of prayer.
Yep. It's a church ceremony on a Sunday, people. We have to hold up like a prayer on a Sunday, I just want to say this. At least you see why Puran left now.
Yes, actually. Yeah, that's a good point. It's a good point.
At least we see why Puran gone now. You know what I mean? Puran's probably in Trinidad right now, just cooling, waiting for CPL to start.
Yeah, he's
just chilling.
He's enjoying himself. He don't business.
My man's cooling right now. Ellen, Mash, I want you to help me figure it, because obviously I can't see it. But I get the sense that there's division in that team.
I think so.
I don't think there's real unity in that team.
Now
think-
listen. Okay,
First
let me
of
jump into that. Let me jump into
and
that.
it's-
'Cause
and I'm only wait.
go on.
I'm going off of one or two things I've heard, but just how they're talking post match. There's no friendly talk. There's always sounds like they're blaming somebody in the team at every cut. Go ahead, Matt. You can say what you want to say.
Yeah, no. So it's interesting that that's the point that you turn to, because when I was at Sabina on Tuesday, when I was at Sabina on Tuesday, people who will remain nameless, I spoke to them, and what was interesting to me is they made a few comments about certain things, and in my head I said, and the thing is, it wasn't anything inflammatory, but it fits with what you just said. It was more a case of me saying those type of things only get out, and obviously I'm not telling people what those things were, but those type of things only get out when a dressing room isn't in harmony. You get one?
Yeah, no,
And like I say,
know.
what I was told was nothing major, but it was enough for me to immediately just think in my head, but how's this getting out? And I've seen this I cover football, I cover other sports. Those type of things only happen when people aren't in harmony with one another. That's my personal opinion.
I really don't think there's unity. One, I don't think Paulo gets along with he's getting along with some of the guys in the team, especially with Sammy. I actually think Paulo will be the next to go.
Yes, I agree.
I think Paulo will be the next to go, especially based on what I've heard. And I'll say this, and I know enough of you man are gonna cuss. Hear me out. As soon as that World Cup is done next year, watch Shea Hill go. Let's watch.
So my prediction is that
my running order is Paulo to go, Shea to go, and then right after that, Heckmar to go. So that's the next running order of the three to go.
I wouldn't have the same three, but I reckon that when the World Cup is done, Powell's done for sure. Powell, I've got as if I had to predict, I've got Powell as someone who is definitely going to go.
Yeah, he's odds on.
And when I say go, just confirm what I mean by go, I mean do what Puran's done.
Yeah.
So I've got Powell in my
Rodham
list.
is what, 32, right? Like 32, something like that?
I've got Powell in my list as someone who's going to go exclusive. But can I be honest as well, though? And this is going to sound harsh. Powell served West Indies well, like he's been a loyal servant of West Indies cricket. But it's not like he's left like loads of performances where you go, boy, we've lost Rodman Powell. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Well, the most he can claim is that mini 12-month run leading up to the World Cup. That's as good as it got for him. When
he was captain, yeah.
And he probably had the best period of West Indies success in the white ball format, right? So he can cling on to that. But even in his own performances, he hasn't. I might be wrong, but I don't think he has that like marquee stand-up performance in West Indies cricket just yet. I might have missed one or two, but you know what I mean?
But also, in fairness, Josh, as much as this could be linked to harmony in the team and this, that, we also have to be realistic. A lot of these guys, they're not young, you know. Like if you go through the team, Holt's in his 30s, King's just touched 30, Powell's in his 30s, Akil's in his 30s, Holder's in his 30s. Chase is in it. This team's old, you know, relatively speaking, when it comes to T20 cricket. So, in fairness, if some of them were to say
Lewis
after
is in
the
his
World
30s.
Cup, who? Evans in his 30s. So, if some of them were to say after the World Cup, yeah, that's me done. Part of me would also be like, well, you know, you've kind of played for a long time. You're in your 30s now. Go get that money. So there also would be a part of me that would think that.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't mind. Because at this point, Mash, we've had this bunch of players for at least the last 5 years, if so long.
Yep.
Time to break it up.
It's it's like when a football manager, Alex Ferguson used to be brilliant at this. Alex Ferguson used to do a new cycle of his football team
3 years.
Every 3 or 4 years. He'd do a new cycle because players get after 3 or 4 years, allegedly, this is what leaders say, and certainly in the sports industry, players need a new voice, or players either need a new voice or you need new players.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? So yeah.
Yep. Or you get a new staff around that main man. So he's still the same voice, but he changes his staff, which is what Sir Alex did a lot. He always had a new assistant every 3-4 years, It's kind of what Ruben Amorim is doing right now at United. He's trying to wipe out this team as much as he can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think West Indies right now, we are it's been coming at this point, at the wipe it out. What's the word again? Like this wipe. I forget the word, but you know what I mean, Mash. Like clear this team out, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we've all now seen why Puran left. We all see why I think Robnon will go, because I think he's odds on to leave after the World Cup, and I wouldn't be surprised Shea Hook goes. And I think Shea will just say, you know what, I tried that thing as the captain. I know it was only like a year, if so long, but I sense that Shea's already frustrated. I can hear it in his voice. He just sounds like, what's this?
Yeah.
Bro, Mash, I won the other game yesterday or the day before. West Indies, Australia were 96-4, I think. I thought, we got this. There's no way they're going to get that. Maybe I'm stupid enough to think that. You know what I mean? But I turned on the TV, I went to a party, bro. I come back in the morning and I said, we lose the game. I thought, wait, what? Man went to rave and left this and come back to this?
So wait, hold on. You went to rave?
Yeah, I went to a party and thing.
Hold on, what day was this?
Must you in the country, don't chat. You're
So
not
hold
even
on.
Kingston.
So hold on. Wait a minute. I fly to big Jamaica. You're going to rave, I'm sure, with gal, and you didn't want to say nothing to me.
Bro, you're too far. You're too far, bro. You way out in the bushes, in the trenches. You might come out with a Rasta gal or something, you know what I mean?
Boy.
You know one of them girls that were out the country, I fix some panties here. Yeah, man, one of them, you know what I mean? One of them.
Oh boy.
The last point, I'm gonna let you go, but I'm gonna give one more point, and then I'll let you, I think your Alan Stanford point is valid to an extent. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Do we have the right people who can manage the situation? It's all good and well having money, but how are you going to manage the money?
Oh yeah, of course.
Understand?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, the whatever, and this is the point I should have raised when Tyrese and I were discussing it.
Yeah, because before you go, Mike, the problem is West Indies team is not a private entity. This is more of a, technically speaking, a government entity. It's not a private entity, Mash. I'm sorry. Because it's technically founded on the principle of electing and re-electing and changing out. It's not like a club that's owned by a billionaire.
Well,
you know what I mean?
No, but Cricket West Indies is private though. It's a private.
Well,
it's private, but it's private for a public good.
Yeah. That's the way I should phrase it. Yes, but it's not like all right, a billionaire who owns a club and then he can really control it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this case, it's more as a CEO trying to find a billionaire to invest in it. And he's like, will this billionaire be tempted to do that if he doesn't even own it? So let's say, right, what's his name? Chris Darren goes to Saudi and link up one of them Princeman them, right?
Yeah.
And say, oh, here we're going. You have about $2 billion, This $2 billion pounds can go and build 6 academies, refurbish all of our major stadiums, invest in the youth academies in the school systems in the Caribbean. And my man will look back at him and say, so am I getting a percentage of the team? And Chris will be like, well, maybe he can elect you at that point. He might have to just be elected as president at that point. You see what I'm saying? And how do you get that to happen? So that's the problem.
If it's Saudi, we might have to capture some people and sell them into slavery. That's how we'd have to pay them back.
Yeah. You know what? I'm coming up. I want you to stay alive. I'm coming up. I'm out. I'm coming up. Goodbye.
Listen, Josh, next time.
Yeah.
Next time. Next time. All right, final caller. That's Josh, people. He's gone. Right. All right, listen, you lot don't know about my humor, you know. I'll just deliver something. I'll deliver something so deadpan that you'll think I'm being serious. Right, okay. Thing is, anyways, let me be quiet because I'm too reckless right now. Right, so that's Josh. Last caller of the show. Let's just see. There were some comments. So Ghost George says, Mash, what is Rodman's role in the team now? Honestly, yeah, I don't know if I'm reading too much into it, but I kind of feel like since Rodman's lost the captaincy, something feels a bit off. I might be reading not in terms of for the team. I'm just talking about Rodman in general. I might be reading a bit too much into it, but I don't know. I kind of feel like certain things. And then Vaneem says Chase is playing T20s without bowling at least 2 overs a match. It makes no sense. I think Vaneem's right to make this point because the question you have to raise about Chase is if he's not bowling, and obviously he's there as a sixth bowler, but if he's not bowling at all, like in the last T20, I don't think he bowled any overs, right? If Chase isn't bowling and he's having negative impact with the bat, what is he in the team to do? So there are question marks about Chase's position, but then there's question marks about Hetmeyer. There's question marks about Rutherford. So this is why I said to people, when Lewis comes back, who's the person to miss out? I don't think it's as simple as just saying, well, it's Chase who's got to go, because I got question marks about several people. Right. Right, last caller, Vanetta, and then we're done for tonight. How long has this gone? Okay, 1 hour and 21 minutes. I said it'd be an hour, so this is the last caller, people. We're definitely done after Vanetta because there's ants in this room, and I'm not liking it. I swear one was just crawling on my arm, you know. To take. Hold on, Vanetta, because let me just inspect my clothes, because I might have to all take these clothes off. But this ain't OnlyFans, so I'm just going to have to speak to Vanetta and run to my room and take these clothes off, you know, because I swear I have to wipe down this laptop and everything because see these men crawling on the wires and everything. Oh, this is a dark feeling to have right now. Right, last caller, Vanetta. Let's go. Yes, Vanetta, how you doing?
I'm good, Mash. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Your luck is not some red ants to clap you a couple bite too while at it.
Listen, the mosquitoes are not playing. Let me tell you, on my right leg, I've got 10 mosquito bites. On my arm up here, I've got at least 6 or 7 there. The mosquitoes are finishing me on this trip.
I mean, they're smelling foreign blood.
They know I'm a sweet boy. That's the reality of the situation.
I learned. Anyway, I've just got a couple points. So I think maybe a year or two ago, I asked if we had a team psychologist, psychiatrist, couple therapist, anything. Because I really believe a big part of the batsman problem is just mental and mindset.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at the England versus India test match. England had India at the West Indies score.
Yeah.
1 run, 2 wickets. I said, well, I guess England pulling this off. India said, nope. And those men stood up and batted. Yeah. If that was West Indies, we were all out for Musiba 26.
Yeah, no, 100%. What were India? I think they were none for 2. We wouldn't have seen out the rest of the day. No. On if that was us.
They saw the rest of the day and the full day after.
Yeah.
And so I really believe it's a very big part of the mindset problem. Do we have the talent? Do we have the raw talent? I think if you compare West Indies under 19 when Hetmeyer was on it to India's under 19, and you look at where the players are now. Yeah. West Indies had the raw talent. It just has not developed to where they can be consistent on the international stage. Heck, he's going to give you a great innings, I don't know, once every 3 series.
Yeah, because that would be like, that's like 9 innings. That sounds about right. Yeah, 1 every 3 series, I reckon.
Yeah, and that's not going to cut it.
Yeah.
And I think that's our problem. We're going to have a man who's going to give us one good innings every 9 match, but three of them not doing it at the same time.
Yes, exactly.
So-
That's the problem. Yeah.
So you're not getting a full match of people batting. You go, oh, we got a good score. Or if the batsman bat, the bowlers don't bowl.
Yes. Yes.
Quick point on that. Something we can fix in the short term. Our fielding and catching.
Yeah, because that stuff is free. That stuff doesn't. That is. So if people, okay. So do you know what, Vanetta? When people say to me stuff like, "Oh, we have the talent," it's when I see stuff like the poor fielding and drop catches.
Yeah.
That I'm like, well, do we though? Because that stuff's the easiest stuff to. That's the type of stuff that you can be equal with the best teams in the world. You don't have to be the best player in the world to be able to field.
But I think that again goes back to the mindset and the
Right.
mental aspect of it. I mean, I was looking at I think it was a game yesterday, because West Indies got me so bad that I completely forgot when the 30-20 was.
Yeah.
I was out, usually I'm out. I put the game up on my phone, completely forgot. Came, I'm like, oh, and we're losing. Okay, I'm going to bed.
Yeah. Totally get it. Totally
But
get
I
it.
mean, they were saying that Maxwell, granted, he's a special specimen with fielding, but he puts in the time and effort to become the special specimen with fielding.
Yeah.
And I just don't think our players, batsmen, bowlers, have the mentality and the mindset to putting the extra time to be where they need to be. They're doing just well enough to stay on the team. And unfortunately for West Indies, that's not really a high bar right now.
Right. And that would also explain why when we're looking for consistency, you don't get enough players being consistent at the same time.
Nope, because they sort of don't have to be. You just need
Yeah.
to do well in have a really good innings, 1 out of 3 series, be okay in one of the others and crap the other one, and you're getting into the fourth one.
Yeah.
And that's because I mean, so I know you can talk about uncles, and I got into cricket because of my dad, and a part of me is very happy he's not alive to see that 27, because the cussing that would have come through the phone would have been epic. But I think we've got to go back to the point that those players then, West Indies were probably the only team of players of color who had a chance of beating England and then Australia when they start running them out.
Yeah.
And they took that on with pride. They're like, we're representing, and we're going to go out there and somehow make it work. The players now don't have that. They just turn up, play, good enough to stay on the team, move off. In my mind, what I think West Indies need to do right now, because as you said, there's no short-term fix. Our on the 15s need to be separated, and on the 17 and above, 2 different categories. On the 17 and above, we sort of use for the next 5-10 years, expecting the L's.
Okay.
On the 15s, we properly develop. Like we go back to getting appropriate coaches. I don't know how we're paying for all of this. I don't know. I'll win the lotto and fund some of it. I can't explain how we're paying for it. But I think we've got to accept that we're not, those on the 15s just can't be seeing anything serious until they're properly developed. Because what West Indies do is that you see somebody at under 17, they play 2 matches, they're under 19, they look good. You throw them in the senior team.
So let me ask you something. You know how, like, I need to go away and think about this. I'm just going to throw it out here as a spitball comment for now. And by the time I do a next show, I would have thought about it fully. In American sports, in fact, what am I trying to say here? Roland Butcher spoke to me about this as well. In American sports, when it's time to go to college, you can go to a top US university or college on a scholarship, right?
Yep.
Because of your sporting ability.
Yep.
If using your under 15 idea and extrapolating it to when these kids get to 17, 16, so 16 and you're about to go and do, let's say, your A levels or whatever it might be, or not A levels. What's it after CX? What's after CXC?
A levels or CAPE? Is it CAPE?
CAPE. Yeah. So let's say you're going to do CAPE or you're doing A levels. So that's 16 going on 17 now. is it worth West Indies trying to create a scholarship system? So if you are the most talented, the 15 most talented 16-year-olds in the Caribbean go on a scholarship to a university, they still do, not university, college, university, whatever, they still study for CAPE, they still study for A-levels, but they're there on a cricket scholarship. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Okay.
Because that's how you circumvent. Because the problem is, if you don't do it at 16, you could do it at 18 instead, by the way. But by 18, the useless coaches in the region have probably already mashed all those cricketers up, right?
Exactly.
So at 16, it's a paid scholarship. So it's a fully paid scholarship. So no one's paying anything. And you go and study. It probably would have to be in Antigua. You go and study, and you are on a cricket scholarship. I think that would have to be the way forward. And then from there, assuming you matriculate properly, the best of that 15 at 18 years old would then go into the West Indies Academy system. Do you get where I'm coming from?
That's not a bad idea.
Now, not all of them would go into the West Indies Academy because maybe some of them would have fallen off by the wayside. I don't know. And then anybody who didn't get into the cricket scholarship, who somehow missed the program, but somehow weren't mashed up by the rest of the domestic system, those players would also get a chance to come into the academy as well.
Into the academy as well. That's a pretty. I like that idea.
So that's the type of thing that people need to think outside of the box and start thinking about.
Yeah, because I think by the time you get to the senior team, I mean, yes, there are coaches that can give you suggestions, but if you're set batting or bowling one way, I mean, it's difficult to teach an old dog new tricks.
Exactly.
And the other thing you're talking about, getting Langer or somebody to come, yeah, they're not going to come. It would be detrimental to their coaching career.
Yeah, they're not coming.
But
yeah, go.
Could we get somebody to come and do like a facilities evaluation?
Yes, so I think you could get somebody to come on like a consultancy basis.
Yep. And go around to the different islands as a coach and go around to different islands and say, this is what's needed. This is what you have. You can either improve here or you just need to rebuild from scratch.
Yeah.
Because I'm from Guyana and it's a shame of what border cricket ground looks like right now. It just doesn't exist. I mean, it's there. And it's one of those things because it's in the city. It's an easy place if you want to do any sort of cricketing. The kids can easily get there. The ones in Georgetown. But it's useless as it is right now.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Listen, I'm going to go away and think on these ideas because you've raised something quite pertinent. But I just need to try. I hope. Do you know what? I hope because I know these cricketers and media people and administrators watch the show. I mean, hopefully they've heard that little bit of discussion that you and I have had, and maybe it might click a light bulb in someone's head as to some things that could happen.
I hope so because we've got to accept 10 years of just turning it off, turning back on to check, turning off again because it's not going to be pretty. But if I can see West Indies beating Australia and being expected to beat Australia and being able to do it in my lifetime, I'd be happy.
Nah, I think that's too much. Let's aim for.
No, I mean 20 years from now.
Okay, 20. Okay, fine. I thought you meant like in the next 5 years or something.
Oh no. Oh, I'm that old.
Okay, 20 years. If in 20 years we can go into a match against Australia and think we might win, as opposed to it being a fluke, then yes, that would be progress.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will take that.
Yeah. All right. Listen, Vanessa. Thank you so much.
Take care.
Yeah.
All right. Bye.
No problem. Thank you, Vanessa. Much appreciated. Right, people. I've got to deal with these ants. I think there's ants on my clothes. I need to go hold a fresh because I swear these ants have been crawling on me during the course of this show. I need to spray up this desk and everything. Anyways, people, thank you for coming on the live today. Anyone who called in, thank you for the live. Thank you for anyone who did a super chat. On your way out, people, make sure you like, share, subscribe, all of that. If you weren't able to be with the live, go back to the beginning and watch it, etc. Like, share, subscribe on the way out. Become a patron. That gives you access to our Discord, Caribbean Cricket Podcast Discord. If you don't want to do that and you don't want to do super chat or super thanks, you can do buy me a coffee. And if you're a betting man, get involved with our sponsors. You can see their logo in the top right hand corner, Parlay Pros. Only if you know how to control yourself. If you have vices and you don't know how to control yourself, then please don't get involved. But if you can control yourself, Parlay Pros, they've got a really good high-tech data algorithm which gives you the best trends and best patterns to follow in the sports betting field. Get involved with them. Links in the descriptor below as well. Listen, I'll be back soon, people. Definitely more episodes coming before I leave the island to go and get my green card from TC. So look out for that stuff, people. Those are going to be at Fort Lauderdale. See you soon. I'll be Machel St. Patrick here, one half the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. Peace.
West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.